On today's Tuesday Talk, we are answering a question from a viewer about how we figure out where to camp. Now, this depends on where,
That's really the answer. That's the only answer.
That's Steve's answer. I think they mean more like what websites do we use, things like that. And this kind of depends on where we're camping. So this year we're out east a lot more, in the Northeast, and that is a little bit different than when we camp out west. So let's talk about now first. How are we finding everywhere we're camping now? Campendium. I feel like I've said that word a lot. If you notice in the description of any video we put out that has us traveling around, there'll be a link to where we're staying in the description. So keep an eye out for that. And most of the time that link is to Campendium, because it is my favorite site to go to for camping because the reviews are so good. And it tells me something that's very important to this guy. Internet, or cell signal, which is very important to us as we travel. Yeah. And so I have a very hard time booking a campground that I can't see cell phone reviews for. And Campendium's the best place for me to find them. So Campendium's our #1 source. I will also look, we mostly like to do state parks as much as we can out east because you tend to get slightly bigger sites. It's a little more scenic. So
less expensive.
Yeah, so recreation.gov has a lot of those, but I often start at Campendium, see the state parks there, and go through Campendium to get to recreation.gov and to do everything there. Overnights, when we're not just looking for a place to stay for a while, as you have probably seen this year, our favorite overnight places to stay are
Harvest Host.
Harvest Host. So Harvest Host is a program where we pay a yearly fee. We get access to over 700 different places across the U.S. Farms, wineries, museums, breweries, places like that. And we get to stay for free overnight at those different places. It works great for overnight stops. It does mean I can't plan quite as far in advance because you can't call a Harvest Host 3 months in advance and say, can I stay there in August? You need to only call up to a week before. And so I just kind of have mapped out where I want our overnights to be. I call a week before. If it doesn't work out, I find something different. I have backup plans. But Harvest Host has worked out as being like the best way to have overnight stops for us. Gives us something to look forward to.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, if you're out west,
just here.
He is. I'm sorry, this is more mine. You can talk about the next one, next Tuesday Talk.
I drive. I drive to those places.
He does. He doesn't usually know where we're going, but he drives there.
Yeah. Usually that's how it works out.
Out west, we do a lot more boondocking because we can. A lot more staying places for free. Again, Campendium is my main source for finding boondocking locations, especially since we can see the internet, cell phone signal in those locations from Campendium. I will also occasionally use freecampsites.net. They also have people sometimes reviewing cell signal and talking a little bit more about whether rigs can fit or not, but Campendium is by far my favorite spot.
It's the most consistent resource.
It is.
For finding that kind of information.
Yes, it is, and that's why I use it. Predominantly, that's what I use. You will notice
our dog is eating grass.
Yes, he is. You'll notice one other thing is that we often stay, if we're not at a state park or boondocking or one of those, we'll often stay at KOAs. They're not the best campgrounds in our opinion most of the time.
They're hit or miss.
The reason we do that is we always, after longer periods of time without full hookups, we like to have amenities. We like to have a laundry room here at the campground so that we can do our laundry. We like to have electric and water and sewer and just general amenities. And so when we're looking for a campground for that, KOAs are everywhere and we have a KOA card, so we get 10% off. So it often makes it slightly cheaper than some of the other campgrounds in the area. So
they're still expensive.
They're still expensive. They are not our #1 choice. We'd love to stay at more mom and pop joints, but we tend to find places with more reviews. KOAs tend to have more reviews because more people stay there and we get to know the internet. And the internet's kind of like the #1 thing when we're looking for a place to stay.
That is true.
So that is how we find our camping locations. If you have a favorite way of finding camping locations, please leave it in the comments below because I'm sure our viewers would love to hear about it. If you're interested in this kind of planning stuff, how to find camping, stuff like that, check out our free email list, Epic RV Tips. I'll make sure to have a link down below and up above. And that's just a free weekly email where we share some of our biggest, best tips about RVing.
Yeah, these emails are like 700, 800, 900 words. So they are very in-depth and very educational. So give it a try.
Yeah.
And if you don't like them, you can always unsubscribe. We'll be sad if you do, but that's always an option. Link will be at the bottom of every email. But,
Yes.
but give them a try.
Yes.
Give them a try.
So that's it for this Tuesday Talk. If you have a question for a future Tuesday Talk, please leave it in the comments below. Like this video if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't already to see us camping at all these fabulous locations. And we'll see you next time.
And I'm just here.
Bye, guys.
I drive,
He does drive.
but I'm just here.
And he makes all the pretty
I
photos.
just tag along. I just pet the dogs.
The puppies who are wandering, Pen